Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back and we're going to start the final case in the South Asia region. Thanks to Tina Orkun and Paulo Roberto for their reports. Insides Out. We're heading to Tibet. Matthew, last we heard, the guru disappeared from our radar while we were in Bhutan, and we haven't been able to locate him since. But we know that Averly Worthington, his most loyal follower, came this way, and wherever the guru goes, she follows. So the guru has to be here somewhere. Our suspicions about the guru were confirmed after we discovered his followers have been giving him large sums of money, and that he's been giving that money to a charity that's owned by OM Medilab. Since we know that OM Medilab is a front company run by Sombra, that means our guru is a Sombra agent as well. We always knew there was something suspicious about that guy, but pretending to be a holy man while actually being a top secret Sombra agent is low. According to Bureau Intelligence, Averly was last spotted in the village square. Matthew, if you can track down Averly, you'll find the guru. Alright, sorry guys, my tab didn't respond for some reason and then it was forced to reopen. Village Square. Let's start. Oh no. Torn newspaper. Second place already. Cool. $10,000 more coins. Cool. Matthew, what the heck happened to that guy? Why are all his insides outside? His body is all broken up and he's missing his stomach. I think I'm gonna... Ugh. Sorry, Matthew, I'll get a grip. You're right, Matthew, that guy does look familiar. It's Sandeep, that tuk-tuk driver from India. What in the world is Sandeep doing here? And who'd want to kill him? He was such a nice guy. Matthew, if you think the killer could have dropped something in that cart, then we should search it. Newspaper articles always deliver the news, good or bad, so why don't you piece this article together to see what it says? Matthew, we came here to find the guru, but instead we were met with Sandeep's gruesome murder. It's up to us to make this right. Anyway, I need to grab some stars. I'm going to try and recharge my tablet in a bit. So sit tight. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. I got 10 stars. I'm going to examine the cart right now. A valet ticket. Matthew, you found a valet ticket in the Tibetan cart? Did someone try to valet this cart? Oh right, it's a valet ticket for a place called the Tibet Spa Resort, and it's got our victim's name on it. There's a spa resort out here? It looks like Sandeep valeted his tuk-tuk at the resort, which means he drove that tuk-tuk all the way here from India. If we want to find out what happened to Sandeep, we need to retrace his steps, Matthew. We're off to the Tibet Spa Resort. But first, torn newspaper. pet obituary. Matthew, the rich newspaper article you restored as an obituary for an elephant named Kesavan. Wait, I know that name. You're right. It's the elephant we met in New Delhi. The one who was always with that street kid, Sanjay. That elephant died? Sanjay must be a wreck. Poor kid. I know how he must feel. I had a goldfish once that died. His name was Goldie. Hey, that newspaper's mine. Give it back. Sanjay? What are you doing here? Ranger Matthew and I were just looking for you. Let's talk. About Kesavan's obituary? Ranger Matthew, can I please have my article back? That's the only thing I've got left of Kesavan. Sure, kid. Sorry about that. You must be pretty upset. Ever since Kesavan died, I've been lost. He was my best friend. Now that he's gone, I'm all alone. I tried to make it on my own, but it was too hard. We were a team. You're pretty far from home. How'd you get to Tibet? I met a family of Sherpas. They took me in and brought me here. Now all I can do is scrounge up enough to survive, and I hate the cold. It must be really hard for you, losing Kesavan, like I lost Goldie the goldfish. So sad. Anyway, you probably need some time, so Ranger Matthew and I will be back later. God, that sucks. I feel sorry for the kid. CD case. Broken pieces. A bone. As you probably guessed, I did do some of the bonus crime scene here. That's why I have 10 stars. This is one fancy hotel. I bet they have hot tubs in the rooms. Imagine, champagne, Asal, Barry White. Sorry, Matthew, you were saying? You think these broken pieces might be a clue? I'll get the glue. Whoa, I haven't seen a CD in years. This one looks like it was recorded by some 90s Bollywood pop star named Shasha. Why does this Shasha girl look familiar? There was something written on the CD. And there's Sandeep's name. Matthew, we better retrieve the rest of the text. And what's this, Matthew? Is it a bone? What's it doing here? It's also got some marks on it. I wonder what they could be. Matthew, let's throw this bone to Lars and see what he makes of it. I'm going to get a couple more stars, so sit tight. Okay, I got myself up to 11 stars this time. So let's examine the CD case now. Arsha, from your #1 fan. The note written on the CD reads, Arsha, from your #1 fan, Sandeep. Arsha? Could that be Arsha Raju, the Bollywood star? Wait, is that Arsha on the CD? Matthew, Sandeep left this here, which means Arsha must be around. Let's go find her. About the CD the victim left for her? Ranger Matthew, what are you doing here? Are you following me? No, we're investigating the murder of Sandeep Sadara. We believe you know him. We found this CD he left for you. Give me that hideous thing. You make one 90s pop album when you're young and it haunts you forever. It's a good thing I used my nickname Shasha. Somehow that tuk-tuk driver got a copy of it. I have no idea how. I thought I had all the copies burned. I came to Tibet to reconnect with nature and enjoy a relaxing spa retreat in a luxury hotel. But what did I get instead? That chubby little tuk-tuk man with his big mustache and that horrible CD. That's not relaxing. You certainly have guts, which is more than we can say for Sandeep. So stay close by in case we have more questions for you. Okay, broken statue. Looks like a Buddha statue. Matthew, I'm impressed with your wood restoration skills on that Buddha statue. But how is this a clue? I mean, we are in Tibet. Buddha statues are everywhere. Oh, if you flip it over, there's a message written on the base. Thanks, Warren, for being such a good fellow. Warren Goodfellow? Could that have been given to the Rising Hope guy, Warren Goodfellow? Well, Buddha statues don't lie. Matthew, this means Warren's in Tibet, and we need to find him. Something tells me that it's the kid, Sandeep, who killed, Sanjay, who killed Sandeep, because he ended up killing his, elephant. But let's talk to Warren Goodfellow, see what he has to say. Ranger Matthew, what a relief to see you. I heard about the murder. It's ghastly. Mr. Goodfellow, we're surprised to see you here. It doesn't look like Rising Hope's aid is needed at the moment. I'm on vacation. After the virus outbreak in Bangalore, I needed a rest. I have friends up here, people I've met during my travels, so I decided to pay them a visit. When I got here, I heard about that poor tuk-tuk driver. For something like that to happen in this lovely place, it's very disturbing. I guess that means you don't know the victim. Unfortunately, I don't. Wish I had more to tell you, but if there's anything else I can do to help, don't hesitate to ask. Something tells me that it could be Sanjay who killed Sandeep. So, we'll find out. I'll let the victim's body run its course as well as the bone, and I'll see you guys for that. Alright folks, this is Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the bone from Lars. Matthew, thank you again for being such a big support during our time out here. Between my near-death experience in Bangalore and almost giving up everything to follow that imposter, the guru, and renewing my vows with Angela, this has been a wild ride. Lars, buddy, make no bones about it. You can count on us. Speaking of, what can you tell us about that bone Matthew found? I can tell you it's a human rib bone. What? It's from a person? Seriously? More specifically, I can tell you it came from your victim. I checked in with the wifey and she confirmed the rib comes from Sandeep's body. The splintering of the bone is congruent with the forced extraction, meaning the killer ripped the bone out of the body purposefully. Furthermore, I had a look at the marks on the bone. Turns out they were teeth marks, not human, but deep enough to make a dental mold. I had to estimate a bit, but what do you think? This mold represents whatever it was that chewed on that bone. Buddy, you're one talented guy. Thanks. The only thing is, I'm not exactly sure what it was that chewed on the bone, but I'm sure Mounty can figure that out in a jiffy.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay, sweetheart.
Now let's examine the teeth.
Neighbors hear anything? Nada. See us on the pillow and shoot using gunshots. Any chance this is good? Unless it's this ghost. It means this is to go down to 4 days. Now somebody's cleaning up loose ends coming up behind that main cartel. Everybody just to make a clue, baby.
A Tibetan Mastiff, a dog? So the teeth marks on the victim's rib bone were left by a dog. And not just any type of dog, a Tibetan Mastiff. I've heard of throwing a dog a bone, but that's taking it too far. Our killer must have ripped this bone out of Sandeep's body and then played fetch with Fido, which means our killer has a Tibetan Mastiff.
Yeah, got it. Can you tell me what's that?
Knocking mothers with infants.
Sure that
Yeah, that's what I said.
Any children?
2 victims.
No.
I'm gonna speed this up.
Thanks a lot.
Matthew, your victim's body tells one fascinating story. Fascinating is not the term I'd use. Sandeep seems to have been killed in a ritualistic fashion. The entry mark on his stomach suggests he was first stabbed with a double-edged blade and then skinned. What's fascinating is that his bones were then broken as if someone tried to dismember the body post-mortem. Dismember the body? Sandeep's already dead. What more could the killer want? Well, fun fact, the rite of sky burial, a funeral practice in which a human corpse is dismembered and placed on a mountaintop to be eaten and carried away by vultures, is quite common in Tibet. Morbid to the outsider, the ritual is actually a compassionate and spiritual way to dispose of a commoner's remains. Poor Sandeep, he went from tuk-tuk driver to bird food. Matthew, I believe the killer was hoping the body would be scattered, but you arrived too fast. However, they left behind a clue. I found a partial palm print around the wound. In the print, I found traces of black tea and butter, which means your killer drinks butter tea. Alright, Matthew, we know what side the killer's tea was buttered on. The murder side.
We invited women to a spa to test a new body wash.
Hi, welcome.
Matthew, I don't say this often, but this case is testing my faith in humanity. We came here searching for the guru, but instead we found that happy, free-spirited tuk-tuk driver gutted to death. And I have no idea who could have done something so cruel. Arsha's too self-obsessed to think about anybody but herself, especially if that meant ruining her manicure. I won't even consider it could be the kid, especially not after everything he's been through. And as for Warren, he said he wasn't even here when it happened. All that and still no sign of Averly or the guru. Matthew, it's a good thing we're in Tibet, because I need to meditate. Matthew, before you strike the lotus pose, I have information you're going to want to hear. Thanks to the awesome satellite we snagged from our friends at Sombra, I was able to track down Averly. She's hiding out in a cave in the mountains, and I have the coordinates. We're close.
And deal with the consequences.
We'll get to chapter 2 next time. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're going to go to chapter 2 now of Insides Out. Hey Matthew, remember that satellite we snagged from Sombra? Well, I've been toying around with it. I even nicknamed it Bob. Anyway, I was surfing the global satellite systems when I stumbled across an image on Terra Vista, our virtual 3D map, that caught my attention. It's a photo of Averly outside what seemed to be an entrance to a mountain cave. You were able to find Averly through that satellite we commandeered? Impressive work, kid. Do you know where she's hiding? Yep, she's hiding out in a cave in the mountains, and I've got the coordinates. I triangulated her position and found out that photo was taken in the mountains nearby. Ha! We got her, Matthew. And of course, if Averly's here, the guru must be here too. Which means, Matthew, we're going spelunking. Feel sorry for the kid. I lost 2 family members in the past couple of years.
Season finale tonight at 10 on USA, and catch up anytime on demand and online. Hey Donnie. As soon as you came in.
Whoever it was, the victim knew them.
Another troublesome.
Flores was a gardener. His truck's parked out back. Wife did his billing.
Judging from this place, Mr. Flores wasn't making any extra money running drugs.
And hats.
Or he just hasn't spent it yet.
What'd you
A
find?
drum.
An invoice made out to Keith Gerard.
Locked cell phone.
Landscapes his house.
That's no coincidence. He's running this drug operation from that brokerage house. He's the top dog.
Renting babies from people like Mr. and Mrs. Flores who work for him and need money.
And now he's got to kill them all so they can't finger him.
8th place.
Dr. Benson, Captain
We
Dragon.
need to speak to Mr. Gerard now.
You can tell the Guru's made this his home with that personalized tapestry. Since there's no sign of Averly or the Guru, let's see if they left behind any clues. A yoga mat in the Guru's cave? Matthew, I can think of one person in particular who'd be doing yoga in here. Averly. The only thing that Averly's blonde, and this yoga mat is covered in dark hair. We should vacuum it up to see whose hair this is. That locked cell phone could be the phone Averly used to take the phone she posted on Terra Vista. Let's unlock it and see. Oh, cool, a drum. Boom, boom, boom. You think this drum is a clue, Matthew? Does that mean I have to stop playing with it? Oh yeah, it does look like something's written on it, but it's pretty faded. I brought your field kit so you can give it a good dusting.
Let him go. Just let him go. You're gonna watch him die.
Listen, between us,
Oh, you think I'm an idiot?
just don't hurt them and there's a way out.
Way out.
Okay. Oh, look.
I'm gonna get a few stars, so sit tight.
Morning hour, the first hour, gonna catch up.
Okay, I got myself 20 stars. Let's examine the drum.
While I'm on the conference call.
Stand deep, may you forever be in the light. Oh, that's gotta be from the Guru.
Be a few sick days used tomorrow. We'll see. And for those who are
The message on the drum you dusted reads, Stand deep, may you forever be in the light. Wait, is that our Stand deep? That inscription sounds awfully familiar, like something the Guru would say. Well, Matthew, if anyone's touched this drum besides me, Lars will be able to tell us who.
Police say speed and alcohol were both factors in that crash. This year, the Hawaii Department of Transportation teamed up with Irish pubs around town to remind partygoers to get home safe, posting signs and reminding those
6 hours.
the designated driver. One of the police encouraging celebrants to have fun, but also have a plan to get home.
I would definitely recommend thinking ahead. You want to have a plan beforehand. Think of who's going to pick you up. A designated driver. That could be
Okay, let's get
a
this
family
hair off.
friend, or even a taxi cab. But you definitely want to plan ahead.
HPD says if you know someone who was about to drive drunk help them get to where they need to go.
Hair.
Or just take the
Now that we have a sample of that brown hair from the yoga mat, let's get it to Lars.
The beautiful sounds of bagpipes there. Thousands
12 hours.
in Waikiki today to watch and participate in the St. Patrick's Day.
And the locked cell phone.
It ran from Port Tarusi down to Lakaua Avenue, ending at Kapiolani Park. Celebrations began at noon today. What a gorgeous day they had. The dusty trade slowly dropping. The wind advisory, thankfully. KITV meter on just shows us what we can expect for the rest of the night and tomorrow.
Oh boy. 6MA. R50. Got it. Took There's a picture of Warren Goodfellow on the cell phone you unlocked, Matthew. This must be his, but what's it doing in here? It's open to some sort of tuk-tuk ride app called Tukber. Bet that's Uber in disguise. That's Criminal Case's version of Uber. I'll give him points for creativity, but that's good. And it's good too. It looks like Warren got a ride from Sandeep, but I thought Warren said he'd arrived in Tibet after Sandeep's murder. Clearly he's lying. You're right, Matthew. Warren's hiding something and we've got to find out what that is.
This beautiful shot of Bellows Beach. We'll head over to the windward side for a look at a port.
Got his ride in the victim's tuk-tuk.
Into tomorrow. Again, things on the breezy side with those winds.
Mr. Goodfellow, care to tell us why you lied? Ranger Matthew, I was just having myself a cup of butter tea to keep warm. Would you like one? No thanks, Mr. Goodfellow. You told us you'd arrived in Tibet after Sandeep had been killed, but we found your phone with the Tukbar app receipt showing that you rode in his tuk-tuk while he was still alive. Ah, right, yes. I had completely forgotten. Traveling as much as I do, everything starts to blur. Yes, I remember now. He did give me a ride. He was the only one that didn't mind me bringing my mastiff along in his tuk-tuk. Sandeep was a nice man, but I remember he couldn't stop talking about someone named Guru Om Padmasana. It was non-stop the entire ride. He seemed oddly obsessed with that guru person. It was very strange. Mr. Goodfellow, something about you just doesn't add up, and if Ranger Matthew finds out that you're not as good of a fellow as you make out to be, you'll be raising hope behind bars.
The explosion is still under investigation. They were taking high pressure, small cylinders.
I'll get the remaining stars, and for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright, folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the message. Matthew, this Damaru drum you brought me is really interesting. The Damaru was first created by Shiva, one of the three major deities of Hinduism, to produce the spiritual sounds by which this whole universe was created. Awesome, right, Matthew? However, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the Damaru is most often used as a sacred instrument in tantric practices. Did you say tantric practices? Like the stuff Asal wants me to do? Oops, TMI. Anyway, what's intriguing about this drum is the skin used to make the drum head. Normally made with cured animal skins, this drum is made with the skin of the human variety. And not just any human skin. I asked the wifey, and the skin on this drum is actually your victim's stomach skin. Wait, so this drum wasn't for the victim, but it is the victim. That's just... I touched it with my bare hands, Matthew. Jack, don't be such a baby. At least you know your killer is the one who made this drum, which means they have knowledge of Tibetan drum rituals. I can't believe I touched it, Matthew. Oh well, no need to drum up the truth. We know our killer marches to beats of their own murderous drum. Results of the hair now. Hey Matthew, I've got a joke for you. Knock knock. Oh cool, who's there? K9. K9 who? K9 come in? It's freezing out here. Ha, get it? Can I come in? I kill me. Ha, right. That's a good one, bro. But I don't get it. That's because I haven't told you. The hair sample you collected off the yoga mat is actually dog hair. More specifically, hair from a Tibetan mastiff. Matthew, we know our killer has a mastiff. We need to figure out who this one belongs to. Well, I found a few strands of blonde hair mixed in with the dark hair and tested them. They belong to one Averly Worthington. Matthew, now that we know that Averly's got a mastiff, she's got a lot more explaining to do. Let's go find her. About the guru's whereabouts? You try to give us the slip, Miss Worthington, but you're no match for Ranger Matthew. OMG. Ranger Matthew, it's you again. I thought the Far East was supposed to be a peaceful place. We know you know where the guru is. We found your yoga mat covered in mastiff hair here in the guru's lair. I've told you once, I'll tell you again. I don't know. I'm not his keeper. I'm just a devoted follower of the path to lightness who happens to enjoy doing yoga in a cold temple-like cave. You can cut the act, Miss Worthington. We know Ohm's here somewhere, and we won't leave you until you tell us. I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a while then, Ranger Matthew, because I'm off to meet a friend at the Tibet Spa Resort. Namaste. Matthew, Avery mentioned that she was meeting a friend at the Tibet Spa Resort. Could that friend be the guru? Let's keep following Averly's steps. I know she'll lead us to the guru sooner or later. Got it. Turn photo. Past days. Matthew, that torn photo you nabbed could be a lead. Let's tape it back together. Now here's something curious. Packets of what looks like some sort of healthy energy goo called gel. Matthew, the OM Medilab logo is on the gel. This doesn't look good. Between testing experimental drugs on the general public and creating superviruses, OM Medilab has one nasty track record. Not to mention where there's OM Medilab, there's Sombra. Which means that Sombra or the Guru have been here. We need to get a sample of that gel, Matthew. Torn photo first. Photo. Bull rider. Hello, sexy photo. This was not the type of photo I was expecting to see, Matthew. There's nothing like a beautiful woman in jean shorts riding a bull. I love rodeos. What's that, Matthew? You think the woman on the bull looks like Arsha Raju? Does Bollywood make movies about rodeos? Well, Matthew, this isn't our first rodeo, so if this is Arsha Raju, we're going to need to talk to her. I think it is Arsha. And it happens to be. Let's ask her about the photo. Back so soon, Ranger Matthew? Hello to you too, Miss Raju. Looking for this? Thanks for the butter tea in the eye. It's quite the photo. Not your usual Bollywood style, huh? Ranger Matthew, how did you find that photo? I thought I destroyed it. Good thing Ranger Matthew is a pro at finding those things people don't want found. I was doing a press tour through the U.S. My manager suggested I make an appearance at a rodeo to fit in with the locals. You can't ride a bull in a sari now, can you? Much to my surprise, that tuk-tuk driver showed up here with a printed copy of it and asked me for an autograph. I ripped it up instead. He was going to put the photo on his blog. Could you imagine the shame? I would never get another Bollywood contract again. What I can't imagine is that you do anything to make sure that photo never made it on his blog. Let's just hope murder wasn't in your contract this time, or Ranger Matthew will be booking you for your next big role as an inmate of a Tibetan prison. Well, for now she's clear. She doesn't even own a Mastiff. Gel sample. Now that we've got a sample of that OM gel stuff, let's throw it under the microscope. So it looks like we're going to get to go to the next crime scene. Got it. Om Padmasana's DNA. Oh! Could we possibly bust him now? Good thing you were able to extract a DNA sample from the open gel packet, Matthew. What's even better is that the DNA belongs to the Guru. We knew he was hiding out, but now we know where. He's been at the hotel the whole time. Why would someone like the Guru eat this gel stuff? Anything produced by OM Medilab is highly questionable. Matthew, now that we know where to find our Guru, it's time we got answers from him once and for all. About the OM Medilab energy gel? Om Padmasana, aka Ezra Hope. You can run, but you can't hide, Mr. Padmasana. Namaste, Ranger Matthew. It's a blessing our paths have crossed again. Perhaps you could share a cup of butter tea together? Cut the baloney, Om. We know who you really are. We know you're a Sombra agent and that you're the mastermind behind Sombra's nefarious front company, OM Medilab. A criminal mastermind? Ranger Matthew, I'm all about synergy of the soul, not the contamination of the body. Likely story. First we find out you're donating your followers money to the fake Sombra-run charity One Mother Milk. Then we find these highly toxic OM Medilab gel packets you've most likely been peddling to your followers. There's no way you can deny your involvement with Sombra. Sombra? Look, Ranger Matthew, I thought the charity was doing good in the world. I don't know what that Sombra thing is. And the gels were sent to me as a gift to share with my community. I thought they were for nourishing the body. My Mastiff loves them. You listen to me, Mr. Guru. Once Ranger Matthew has enough evidence to prove your conniving ways, you'll be preaching to a whole new community behind bars. Ranger Matthew, what a break in the case. You found Om Padmasana. We may not have proof the Guru killed Sandeep, but we've got him right where we want him. But there's still work to be done. Warren lied about not knowing the victim and then tried to deflect the attention. Could something have happened during his tuk-tuk ride that he doesn't want us to know about? It seems as if Averly is protecting the Guru, but I wonder if she has something to hide herself. And the Guru continues to play innocent and hide behind a spiritual blah blah blah. We know he's a Sombra agent, but is he also Sandeep's murderer? Matthew, we just got a distress call from a group of Sherpas. Carmen, we're kinda in the middle of something. Whatever it is, can wait, Archer. There's been an avalanche. Sanjay's been buried alive under the snow. What? Unbelievable. Well, I'm gonna get the remaining stars first before we go to chapter 3. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back. Let's start chapter 3 of Insides Out, Case 24 in the World Edition. Matthew, we may not have proof the Guru killed Sandeep, but we've got him right where we want him. Matthew, we just got a distress call from a group of Sherpas. There's been an avalanche and Sanjay's been buried under the snow. What? We've got to get out there and find him. Time is our enemy. The longer Sanjay's out there, the greater the chances he'll freeze to death. Matthew, let's go. I'm right behind you, Matthew. You'll need all the help you can get. I think I know why. Sanjay! Sanjay! You out here, buddy? I don't see anything, Matthew. The snow has completely covered all signs of life. Uh-oh. Did you hear that, Matthew? I think this dog wants us to follow him. I wonder where that dog is taking us. Ranger Matthew. Sanjay, there you are. Are you okay? Yeah, my dog dug me up. I'm just really cold. That dog sure saved your life. Let's get you warmed up. Matthew, I can take Sanjay to the bureau to warm him up. If you and Archer want to go to the village to see if anyone else needs help, you can come back and join us when you're done. I left out the final star. But I'm going to investigate the Marcus Stall since it's close by. It's been going good for me so far. My local college basketball team is in the big dance, the NC2A tournament, and they're currently leading Cal with just under 4 minutes to go. Wood basket. Past ace again. We're going to get the first star here? No, we're not. It's okay though. It looks like everyone here is safe, Matthew, and since we're still investigating a murder, let's check out those clues you found. A locked tablet is always a good place to start, if you can unlock it. That wood basket looks pretty plain, but it's worth a search. Let me get a few stars, so I'll be back. Okay, I got myself 4 stars from the crime scene. Let's examine the locked tablet first, and then I'll check on Sanjay. RAKM. And I still got the 9 energy. Great. Woo. Is that a photo of Averly kissing the guru on that tablet, Matthew? Well, more like Averly trying to kiss the guru, but he doesn't look like he doesn't want any part of it. You're right, Matthew. It's on the dashboard of a blog that belongs to Sandeep called Tuk Tuk Talk. The picture doesn't look like it's been published. I wonder if Averly found out about Sandeep's blog and killed him to make sure it was never posted. Whatever the reasoning, we need to question Averly. I would sure like to bust her. A photo of her kissing the guru. Miss Worthington, when you were planning on telling us you were having when were you planning on telling us you were having an affair with the guru? What? I'm not having an affair with the guru. He's a man of spiritual, not earthly needs. Then why do we find a photo of you going in for a smooch with Mr. Spiritual? Oh no, I knew that photo was going to cause trouble. Guru Om and I had just finished this mind-blowing Damaru drum session. When our drums sound, it's transcendental. And I just got carried away in the moment. Right then, that tuk-tuk driver snuck up on us and took the photo. I didn't want him to make a scandal and tarnish the guru's reputation. Let's hope he didn't gut Sandeep in order to protect the guru, or you'll be transcending from devoted follower to convicted felon. Please let it be the guru this time. Matthew, after searching through that wood basket, you found more wood? Oh, ooh, it's a book. Well, Matthew, whatever it is, it looks old. And it seems like there's something written on it, but it's too faded to read. Matthew, I think a good dusting could tell us more. Got me a 10 of spades. Let's examine the wooden panels. Book annotations. Matthew, the written notes in the book you found are in English. Good thing. I don't know what the other text means. It says, always remember to embrace the clear light from above, and also, it will set us free. Matthew, I don't know what any of this writing means, but I do know someone who can shed some light on it. Let's go see DuPont. Hmm, 15 hours. Alright, well, now let's check on Sanjay. Thanks, Ranger Matthew, for saving my life, and for the butter tea. We're relieved we found you, but what were you doing out there all by yourself? You could have died. I needed money. I tried making Damaru drums to sell. I even took a workshop with that NGO guy, but it wasn't enough. So I thought I'd go to the base camp to see if anyone needed a guide, but then the avalanche hit. Now I have no money, no future, and no Kesavan. I'm all alone. And it's all his fault. Whose fault? That Tuk-Tuk man. He killed Kesavan. He ruined my life. Sandeep killed Kesavan? Yes, he's a murderer. He ran into him with his tuk-tuk. I'm glad he's dead. He'll never be able to kill another elephant ever again. Sanjay, I know you're upset, but I really hope you didn't take revenge on Sandeep, or the only future you'll have will be as a convict. I'll let the annotations run its course, and I'll see you for that. Alright folks, it is Matthew. We are back, and we're now going to start the book annotations. I'm going to speed this up. Bonjour, Matthew. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I see you found quite the interesting artifact. The book you found is one volume of the ancient Tibetan text called the Bardo Thodol, better known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's a Tibetan ritual book intended to describe and guide one through the experiences the consciousness has after death. Bardo is the interval between death and rebirth. This particular chapter you have outlines the signs of death and the rituals to undertake when it's approaching. So this whole book is about death? That's quite a coincidence considering we're in the middle of a murder investigation. What about the handwritten notes? They seem pretty fresh. Matthew, these notes are indeed recent. How someone would deface such a treasure is beyond me. I studied the written notes and found them to be congruent with the language used in Om Padmasana's book, The Flashing Light. I estimate these notes are written by the Guru himself. Matthew, a how-to manual on death with the Guru's handwritten notes doesn't leave much room for doubt. Let's go put some pressure on him. I'm already up to 32,004 energy points. And let's question Om Padmasana about the Book of the Dead. Guru Padmasana, it's time you start telling the truth, because Ranger Matthew is closing in on you. Ranger Matthew, I've been speaking but the truth. I have no reason to lie. Cut the act, Om. We found your death ritual book. You're nothing but a cold-blooded murderer. Why do you keep accusing me of murder? I'm a guru, not a murderer. I mean, my calling is to share enlightenment and help free everyone from their fears, including that of death. You're a guru who donates money to Sombra-backed charities and studies texts on how to kill people. In our book, that reads Evil Killer. That book is an ancient text about the consciousness of death, not about killing people. Don't you ever read, Ranger Matthew? You better watch it, Om. We're onto you. And if Ranger Matthew finds more evidence that you killed Sandeep, you'll go to jail where it'll be lights out on your book fest for good. Good. I like to bust Ezra Hope. Matthew, we're closing in on our killer. With all the evidence against the Guru, I'm sure he's our guy. We just need to confirm it. I know, Matthew, we do have 4 other suspects, but I'm going to prove to you the Guru's guilty. Let's head back to the Guru's lair for one final search. Okay. Colorful shrine. Broken drum. Flowers. Okay. Bam. That must be the Guru's personal altar. If I were a Guru and wanted to hide something, I'd put it where nobody would look. In plain sight. Let's search it. Matthew, is that the same kind of drum as the one we found earlier? The one with the victim's skin on it? Only this drum looks broken. The killer must have run out of the victim's skin and couldn't repair it. Good eye, Matthew. There are white fibers stuck on one of the nails around the drum head. Let's get a sample of that ASAP. Oh, let's do it right now. White fibers. Now that we have a sample of those white fibers from the drum, let's get them over to Lars pronto. Pretty sure that's number 3. 9 hours. And the colorful shrine. A bloody dagger. That must be the murder weapon. Whoa, Matthew, that's one impressive dagger you found on the altar. And it's covered in blood. Angela said the victim had been stabbed with a double-edged blade. I wonder if this is it. We need to get this dagger over to Lars immediately. Oh, this is also 9 hours. Okay. I thought I was going to have to wait 15. But these both are 9 hours instead. So, I'm going to get the remaining stars here. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the white fibers right now and put a killer behind bars. Matthew, I'll get straight to the point. Those white fibers you found on the head of the drum came from a kata. That's great, buddy, but what is that? The kata is a traditional ceremonial scarf in Tibetan Buddhism that symbolizes the purity and compassion of the person wearing it. Tibetan katas are usually white and made of silk, and the fibers you found, Matthew, are exactly that. That means our killer wears a kata, so much for purity and compassion. Matthew, we're hunting down a murderer with the white kata but a black heart. Matthew, the ritual dagger you found is a huge score. Ritual dagger? Yeah, the dagger, or furba, is one of the most important ceremonial tools used in Tibetan Buddhist practices. They're used to symbolically immobilize negative energies and evil forces. These protective devices are normally employed to safeguard sacred spaces. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case for your victim. I ran tests on the blood found on the blade and can confirm it's a direct match to your victim's blood, which means this dagger is your murder weapon. Matthew, I knew you were onto something when you found that dagger. It's the double-edged sword that killed Sandeep. That's not all, Matthew. I found traces of sweat on the dagger's handle. I was able to create a DNA profile and can establish your killer has brown eyes. Matthew, no need to be blue, and we know we're in pursuit of a killer with brown eyes. Matthew, the proof is in our hands. The time to arrest our killer has come. It's not the Guru. Again. Damn it. Thankfully, it's not Sanjay. He has green eyes. It is definitely not Arsha Raju. It is Warren Goodfellow. Warren Goodfellow? You're the one who killed Sandeep? But I thought for sure it was the Guru, Ranger Matthew. What are you talking about, Ranger Matthew? How could you think I'd kill anyone? I'm one of the good guys. That's what you like us to think. But what kind of good fellow rips apart an innocent man and lets their dog play fetch with the bones? That's horrible. I never do such a thing. I'm a man of compassionate intentions. I work for an NGO, after all. You may be wearing that white kata for your compassion, but we found it all over the victim's drum of death. I'm offended you'd accuse me. I wasn't even here when it happened. We'd almost believe you if we hadn't found your DNA all over the ritual dagger you used to gut Sandeep to death. Just admit it, Warren. Ranger Matthews got you cornered. Admit what? That I murdered that ridiculous little man? Fine, you got me, Ranger Matthew. I killed Sandeep. Sandeep served his purpose and then had to go. He might have been spared if he hadn't been so careless. And what purpose is that, Warren? The purpose of murdering innocent, harmless men for your own satisfaction? Or is there something else we should know? Jeez. The purpose of framing that foolish Guru is what? I set him up and you bought it whole. That poor guy had no idea what was happening. You were framing the Guru for Sandeep's murder? That's why all the evidence was pointing to him? You almost made it too easy. You also believe the Guru was the one behind OM Medilab. What? The Guru's not behind OM Medilab? Well, who is? Wouldn't you like to know, Ranger Matthew? You think you're so clever. We've been one step ahead of you this whole time. We? Who's we? If you think I'm going to tell you, you got another thing coming to you. You'll have to figure that out yourself, Ranger Matthew. Matthew, I can't believe Warren's toying with us, sending us on some wild goose chase for the truth instead of confessing his crimes. And this is precisely why we won't send him to trial just yet, Matthew. We need to figure out exactly what the truth is. We know Warren's been framing the Guru for OM Medilab and for Sandeep's murder. What we don't know is why. Matthew, your work is cut out for you. You need to find out who or what is behind Warren's master plan, and you need to do that fast. Once that's done, we can give him the trial he deserves and put Warren behind bars for good. Averly Worthington, cleared from the start. Om Padmasana No Kata, Sanjay Korapati, Green Eyes, Arsha Raju, 3 things not fitting her profile. It was Warren Goodfellow. I'll see you guys for a New Light 6. Alright folks, we're back. Let's start a New Light 6. I can't believe this, Matthew. After chasing the guru across South Asia, turns out Warren's been framing him the whole time. And now he sits back and sneers at us about Sandeep's murder. If he thinks we're satisfied with half-truths, he's got another thing coming. Since Warren won't talk, we'll go back to his hotel and look for more clues. Thanks to Warren, we know Om Padmasana had no idea One Mother Milk was a crooked charity. We've been suspicious of him, but I guess we owe him an apology. Perhaps you and Karma can talk to the guru and help get back his stolen donations. Alright, Matthew, our killer is behind bars, but we're far from finished. We still need to find answers. As long as OM Medilab remains funded and under Sombra control, no one's safe. Let's examine the resort lobby first. Laptop. There we go. Just thinking about Warren's smug smile makes me mad, Matthew. We have to find evidence that sheds more light on Sandeep's murder. You found the victim's laptop? Right, that screensaver has Sandeep on it. The laptop's password protected, but I'm sure that won't be a problem for you. Let's do this. Wow, there are dozens of video files on Sandeep's laptop, and they're all marked as video diary entries. There are too many recordings for us to look through. Let's get this laptop to Elliot and see if he can find anything interesting. Nine hours. And let's talk to Om Padmasana. Om, we owe you an apology. We pushed you hard about this murder in OM Medilab, but it seems Warren Goodfellow was setting you up. Peace, my friends. No harm done. I'm completely free from the prison of anger. Forgiveness is the path to true enlightenment. But I regret the generous gifts of my followers were stolen by an evil organization. The Bureau is as upset as you are, and we'd like to help track down your stolen funds. Do you have anything we can use to get us started? I don't know. I let my followers manage that. I'm all about the light. If there is anything, it'll be in my sanctuary. Ranger Matthews, a token of my eternal gratitude, here's all that I have left for my donations. If it can help find the rest of the money, it's a worthy cause. Well, thank you very much. more pieces. Not my best score, but at least I tried. Nice work, Matthew. That torn document is a great place to start. Let's piece it back together. Got 9. Great, Matthew. That document says confirmation of transfer, and it's addressed to the Guru. But the rest of the document is faded. Let's dust it to find out what it says. Gee, how much you want to bet that this is going to be something we find that's crooked? Royal Bank of Luxembourg. Account information. Another 9 energy coming my way in the meantime. Matthew, that looks like a bank seal on the Guru's transfer document. The Royal Bank of Luxembourg. That's a strong lead. Let's get this to Elliot. Maybe he can start a trace. Okay, 6 hours also. And I will let these two run their courses. And for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright folks, there's Matthew. We are back. Let's get the results of the unlocked laptop now. Matthew, save me from this boredom. I don't want to look at another video diary, ever. Great, so Sandeep's laptop and video files are a waste of time? Well, most of them featured Sandeep rambling on about his drive through the Himalayas, and he addressed each entry to all of his cousins. Do you know how many cousins he has? But it wasn't a total loss, Matthew. You'll want to see this.
In consideration of your medical status and that your death would likely occur before the conclusion of a trial, I'm offering the following.
Vivan, Sanvi, Kabir, and Prisha, very excited as always to share my adventures with you. I find something very interesting today. Cousins, very interesting indeed. My friend Warren had me pick up another package to take to the Guru's sanctuary. Warren is a generous man. While in his hotel room, I knocked over a stack of his important papers. When I put them back, I see that Warren has set up another charity called One Mother Milk, and he's been making donations from Rising Hope. Warren is helping so many people. He really is such a good fellow, and that's actually his name. Get it? I'm writing that one down. What? Did I hear that right, Matthew? Sandeep discovered Warren created One Mother Milk? We know One Mother Milk was created by Sombra as a front to finance OM Medilab. If Warren's been pulling the strings and siphoning funds towards OM Medilab, that means he's working for Sombra. And Sandeep literally stumbled upon the evidence. We knew there was more behind Warren's motive. This must be what got Sandeep killed. Alright, Matthew, let's pay Warren another visit. He'll have trouble keeping quiet now in the face of hard evidence.
It's our question.
About his connection to Sombra? Warren, you can't stay silent forever. We know you're a Sombra agent. Sombra? What's that? I've no idea what you're talking about. Don't play coy. We found Sandeep's video diary. You've been rerouting money from Rising Hope and the Guru's followers to One Mother Milk, which means you're working for Sombra. That bumbling idiot. Even dead, he's causing me trouble. I was using Sandeep to implicate Om Padmasana as the OM mastermind. The Om gel in the Guru's sanctuary, the inscription on the drum, you guys bought it all. But why frame the Guru? And who have you been taking orders from at Sombra? We want names. If you think I'm telling you anything about Sombra, you're crazy. I'd be mincemeat, like these hamburgers they're feeding me. Take one, they're cold anyway.
I used to hate this kid when I was growing up.
Matthew, we're not going to get anything out of Warren. He's shut like a steel trap. We've uncovered his true identity as a Sombra agent, but we still need answers, like how he was recruited. Good idea, Matthew. Let's go back to the crime scene. Maybe Sandeep's left us some other clues from beyond the grave.
Well, I think someday we will be able to name. I also think you gotta give yourself a break now. Your father made his decision. He spent his life on a dead child. And he had a living child at home.
Ice cream sheep. Crocodile. Monkey Ranch. Saw. I know this can get pretty frustrating. Tibetan mailbox.
Next on Law and Order SVU.
Dartboard.
The hunt for a serial offender
Oil lamp
has a
and
acting as bait. So how many times have you tried speed dating?
bear. Boom. There we are. Not my best.
Next.
Getting on this bike and I'm gonna follow you every step of the way. Race.
Matthew, that village mailbox is bursting with letters. It's a long shot, but perhaps we'll find a lead inside.
With travel, fly the island way. Island Air. The sun and the surf, spam and eggs, Chevrolet and Hawaii. Some things just go great together.
An envelope. That envelope you found in the mailbox is open, and it's addressed to Warren. There's only a partial postmark, but judging from the stamp, this originated in China. Matthew, let's take a look at the letter inside this envelope. Isn't that a Sombra symbol, Matthew? The rest of the letter is faded. We'd better dust it. This could be the break we need.
And Hawaii self-storage.
Eric Ramirez will lead it off for the Rainbows here in the bottom half of the second inning. First pitch is popped up, waiting for his Gross at second, still waiting, and he makes the catch.
A letter to Warren. Matthew, let's see what this letter says. Warren, the enemy is too close. Divert attention towards the mystic and eliminate the driver. And it signs the headhunter. So we were close to discovering Warren's operation. That's why he was ordered to frame the guru and eliminate Sandeep. Who's the headhunter? He must be Warren's Sombra contact. The stamp on the envelope is from China, but that's a huge country. Where would we start? Whoever wrote this letter did a great job concealing its origin. There's nothing more we can do with it for now. Let's drop it back at headquarters. Maybe someone will be able to find a trace.
Engel delivers. It's in the dirt. It's scooped away by the catcher, pitching.
Well, you know, this kid, he's 6'4", 225.
And this account info.
I think he's a prospect.
Matthew, this transfer document explains why I've had trouble tracking down any financial trail for OM Medilab. Luxembourg is one of the world's most popular tax havens for good reason. Why is that? Luxembourg has a financial secrecy index of nearly 1,000, which means financial transactions are almost impossible to trace. But the seal you found on that document led me to the right bank, and those numbers represent the specific branch and the destination account. Now, I wasn't able to retrieve all of the money, but I did reverse the most recent transactions and suspend the One Mother Milk account. I've returned to OM at least part of his donations, and OM Medilab's financial stream has been cut off. That should deliver a crippling blow to OM Medilab and Sombra. I'd like to see them come back from that, Matthew. Matthew, Elliot told me the good news. You recovered some of OM's finances. I've had a great idea about setting up a legitimate charity. I can't wait to tell you about it. Come by the lab when you can.
Honolulu was a deep water port, but nobody knew it.
For a legit charity?
Baldwin will step in.
It's all very exciting, Matthew. Now that you've retrieved the Guru's money, I think you'd be pleased to put it towards a worthy charity. After Lars' near-death experience, we've got a new perspective on life. We want to do what we can to help others. Although One Mother Milk is a phantom entity, we love the idea of supporting needy children. So we've established an organization that supports adopted children, the Spring Angels Foundation. That's great, Angela. Elliot will have no trouble transferring the money he recovered to Spring Angels. Now I know it's premature, but I was so enthusiastic. I even designed some Spring Angels t-shirts. Matthew, you get the first one. Well, Matthew, we've made amends with Om Padmasana by retrieving his stolen money and setting up a charity that supports adopted children. And we made the startling discovery that Warren is not only a murderer, but a Sombra agent who's been financing OM Medilab's illegal activity. Knowing Warren's motives for Sandeep's murder and the true extent of his crimes, it's time he faced trial to receive the punishment he deserves. Warren Goodfellow, this court charges you with the murder of Sandeep Satara and with the fraudulent misappropriation of funds in support of One Mother Milk and OM Medilab. Given OM Medilab's unethical drug testing and research and your connection to Sombra, these are serious charges. If you insist on remaining silent and concealing the identity of the head hunter, I've no choice but to hold you solely responsible. So be it. I have no intention of betraying my Sombra allies. Why join Sombra at all, Mr. Goodfellow? After decades of valuable work with Rising Hope, why throw all that away? Ha! Decades of fruitless struggling. I was tired of having my hands tied by bureaucracy and red tape. Sombra offered me limitless resources and complete control, the power to run things as I wanted. Why should morality stop you from getting things done? This court's not as flexible with the law. Warren Goodfellow, given the severity of your crimes and their horrific consequences, this court sentences you to life in prison, where your hands will be tied for good. Putting me away changes nothing. You will never stop, Sombra. We have people everywhere. Matthew, Warren's finally behind bars, and Elliot successfully shut down OM Medilab's financial operations. But Sombra is clearly as strong as ever. Apart from that cryptic letter to Warren with Sombra orders from China, we found no trace of recent activity. Without an address or a clear postmark, that letter could have come from anywhere. Jack's right, Matthew. I wasn't able to track down the origin of this letter using the postmark or the stamp. How are we ever going to find them? It's not all bad news, bro. It wasn't easy, but I found something that gives us a lead. I analyzed the paper right down to the molecular level, and I found microscopic traces of the Camellia reticulata flower. It's primarily used as an ornamental flower and in tea oil, but most importantly, it's only found in the wild in southwestern China, in Yunnan province. That's it, Lars. You found it. That's where we can find Warren's Sombra contact. Matthew, this is just the lead we've been waiting for. We're going to Yunnan right away to track down the head hunter and Sombra.
It's a good change up a straight change. Now, the idea behind the change is you don't change your arm action. You know, you keep it like it would be a fastball, and your grip determines whether the ball's going to go quickly out of your hand or not. And that's a good change, and he gets a strikeout.
Let's see. an elephant, a crane, and a dragon.
Friend with an RBI single. In that second, his 5th RBI of the season. Batting here in the 3rd with 1 out. No one on. The pitch by Hatch. Tried to nibble at the outside corner and just missed. There was a character in the book by Gavin Dawes that I'm sure will impress you. He pitches up high. His name was Garrett Judd. And he came.
And I will do another case in Elite Mode to pass the time. We got the East Asia District now. 6 new cases. Alright.
He was advisor to the Kings, and then he advocated.
Not open yet. Okay, I'm going to do a case in Elite Mode, and for now, this is Matthew. See you then.